Hello, everyone. It's me, Andrew. I'm here at Star Cottage Studio. Hopefully, you all have had a great day so far. Um, yeah, we've been super busy, busy. I was up here late last night getting stuff ready for the treasure hunt boxes number 2. I've been working on those a lot. Sleepy tired now. I've also been cleaning around in the studio trying to make kind of a clear area to kind of work. It's hard when you're doing something like this if you don't have like an area to spread out. So I kind of went through and started migrating over some of my metal tools and did a little switcheroo so that the table that's closest to the kiln is for like enameling stuff. Um, that makes sense. That way you don't have to be, delicately trying to balance something that could fall over. And then I started making some earrings, which I'm probably going to debut tomorrow. Um, Last year, I sold a lot of finished jewelry as part of the fundraiser. I always get like weird heartburn whenever I go or sneeze. I don't know what it is. Anyways, it is what it is, I guess. So what was I saying? You can tell I'm starting to drag y'all. Um, I've been running pretty hard these past couple days. So if you're just tuning in, William and I are having a friendly competition to see who can sell more during Fort Ligonier days, whether it's William in store, team in store, or gold team. That's me. Um, he's got helpers. He's got 100,000 people coming through town, and it's just me, little old me. He's helped me a little bit, so I can't say that he has. I don't have any help at all, but he has a whole team of people, and there's just me here. Um, anyway, so it's a part of our 12-year anniversary campaign. That money is going to go towards a lot of the projects that we have on the docket. There's a lot that we have to do. At the cottage here, we have to do a lot of stuff to get ready for winter, like replace some window panes and stuff that got busted out, and try to get things ready before the cold comes. And the other big thing is that we're working on our new building in Johnstown, which is Butcher Block Gallery. And we're way far behind on that, but that's okay. We'll get there when we get there. We had originally wanted to open in September of this year, and it's October now. So the plan is to open in the spring, hopefully. Fingers crossed. All right, I see a couple more folks have tuned in. Marianne says, hey all, let's see what Team Gold has cooked up to tempt you." Suzanne is watching. Hey, Suzanne. Susan, our neighbor, is watching. Hey, Susan. Michelle is watching. Hi, Michelle. Marianne says, no infighting on a team of one. I don't know about that. If anything, there's probably more because I can't like project it outwards. I have to like internalize my inner conflict. So, um, that boss of mine, anyways. So yeah, so we've been busy. And we're doing this friendly competition for a brief moment in time. I was ahead last night. If you did not see, we launched another round of treasure hunt boxes. I've been working on those. It's mostly going to have vintage glass in it. So I hope you all like that. Um, I do. That's like one of my Achilles heel weaknesses of things that get my heart racing is vintage glass. So they're pretty sweet. There is a little bit of random stuff in there thrown in, just because I can't really do a treasure box or a treasure hunt without that. Susan's watching. Hey, Susan. Mary says, we'll just stop that. Well, easier said than done, right? So anyways, earlier today, we also had a little interview. One thing that I did do is I sealed up the pendant. I'm not going to show that one because that one's already sold. I sealed up the pendants. And so these ones, if you didn't see that on Monday, it feels like a lifetime ago, but if you didn't see that on Monday, we debuted the pendants that I made at Aeromont. And so I'm going to list those, the remainders in an album probably tonight. I'm going to try to do that. The people who've already claimed, those are already set aside. I did do a top coat on everything just so that everything is safe and secure. And I can kind of show those again, because why not, right? So this one's not going to be super long. His famous last words, right? But the reason why I can't stay on too long is I have stuff that's cooking, and I don't want things, I have to be kind of, I have to pay attention to stuff. So I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna do it. So for a brief moment in time, I was ahead last night, and then today I fell way far behind. I am way, 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 way far behind, but I'm optimistic because he can't make money now. Well, I don't know if he's open right now or not, but he can't make money in the nighttime, but I can, and that's like my time to shine. I'm gonna have to go down to the sheets and like double fist some Red Bulls and 5 Hour Energy, and hopefully don't get the jitters. And then I'm gonna be posting. You're all that's y'all are gonna get tired of me. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Suzanne said that she ordered. Thank you so much. Susan said, I can't wait to get my pendant. That one has a face like my smoky cat. Oh, good. This one? So I'm gonna make some more of those, but I'm working on putting the base colors down. And I've been doing some experimenting. I know that I probably should not be experimenting with things like, the days that we're doing our competition things. I can't help it. If you're over on our Patreon, then you may have seen that I've been cooking up my own version of Penny Bray. I don't know why they discontinued it. I don't know. Apparently, they've been going since like 1947, and then they're like done. They didn't even sell the formula to somebody else. It's all like secret hush hush. I think I figured it out. So I took the dregs of my last container, which is kind of getting a little bit crusty, musty up in there. And then I kind of mixed my own version. So we'll see how that goes because it's one of my favorites and they no longer make it. And it's one of the things that just cleans everything up super easy. Like somebody was like, oh, why don't you just put it in the pickle? And one thing that happens when you use the pickle, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about making delightful snacks. I'm talking about cleaning metal. And it uses an acid that they use to clean pools. And, for the most part, it's fine. However, it does react to certain metals, and it eats away. And so with enamel, a lot of times when people think of enamel, they're like, oh, it's just glass. But it's actually glass that's impregnated with different oxides and colorants to make it super saturated. So sometimes that includes metals. And when you put that into the surf or into the pickle, that pickle can react to the metal components of your glass and your enamel and eat away the surface. So it can cause it to go matte, which is not terrible. That's kind of cool sometimes. Sometimes you need that. Um, but it can also weaken the glass and it can also cause pitting. So I try not to use pickle when I'm enameling. I can pickle like the early stages and then make sure to get it really cleaned up. But I can't pickle it after I start adding layers of glass. So the Penny Bright was super great because it didn't have that kind of reaction. If somebody is a scientist out there and wants to like reverse engineer, that would be super great. They came out with a new product after that, and it's called Wright's Cream Copper Cleaner. And I like the consistency of it. It's super weird. It's kind of like a thick yogurt. Um, and it kind of makes me a little bit hungry when I'm using it. But don't eat. But anyway, so I started cleaning with that, but it's not as strong. So the Penny Bright is really like a citric acid and like a salt something going in there. And there's a little bit of an abrasive in there that helps clean as well. So yeah, so we did. So I tried to make some of my own last night in preparation for today's activities. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie. I've got a lot of really cool things that I started cooking up. So we're gonna see. Let's see. I see a couple more comments. Marion says, and I will be sleeping. Well, I hope you have good dreams. Amanda says, happy Friday the 13th, everyone. Well, hopefully everybody had a good Friday the 13th. Heart, heart, heart. Donna's watching. Hey, Donna. Amanda says, I saw on a blog someone put the cleaner, simple green, and water and ultrasonic cleaner to get patina off. I wonder if that would work. In my version, my bootleg version, I do put simple green in it, and it seems to help. When I took that Mocha Magane class with Eric Burris, one of his things is you have to have the metal super clean. And so we use simple green and pumice and scrub the heck out of it, which I can't find my little scrubber set. But anyway, that's another story. Anyways, so there's a lot of different things that you can do, and I'm just curious to see because it's not almost, it is science, but for me, it's almost like alchemy. Or maybe not alchemy, kind of like, I don't know, happy cooking accidents. I don't know what that means. Amanda says, dishwasher cleaner is acidic. I think it's citric acid. Yeah, it just depends on what kind. So you can make a pickle out of citric acid. And yeah. Anyways, I listed all my ingredients that I tried to use in the Patreon, and hopefully it works. We'll find out tonight when I'm cleaning. Donna says, Marianne, sometimes I remember dreams and sometimes I don't. My son teaches a class at our local metaphysical shop on dream interpretation. That's cool. Teresa's watching. Hey, Teresa. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera around. We're going to go through the pendants really quick, I think, and then we'll do the kits. Or do you think I should do the kits first? I did not have time to make that many. I feel like I'm going to add a few every day as opposed to try to do like 5 hours of kits because then people get kind of like they start tuning out and they get bored to death. And I don't want to do that because I get bored when y'all get bored too. So let's flip this around and see the ceiling. And yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's do this. Who's ready? It's funny because I had the camera stand set to the height of me and Charlie, and apparently we're shorter. So when William has the camera set up, it's like super high, and then for me, it's I always feel like I'm stretching my neck whenever I have his settings set up. Oh, and if you didn't see that, we did an interview with Charlie Infante, and she is one of our artists who is going to be in our group show, Spooky Creepy, which opens on October 22nd. If you're in town, um, stop by and say hi. Oh, do you want to see experiments before, or do you not want to see experiments? Do you want to see stuff that's already finished, or do you want to see the experiments? Suzanne says, really nice interview. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, you never know how those are going to go. Teresa says, got my pendulum from the store. It's beautiful. Lena says, both. All right. So I'm going to show you some experiments and yeah, I'll show you the experiments. All right, so who's ready? All right. So normally when I do the graffito technique, it looks like this. I made myself a little haunted house, but I'm going to do some things to this to make it different. And you'll see what those are if they work out. Now, I was playing around with the formula of the medium so that I could, you know, play scientist or something. And Marion says, I would have to see Charlie's painting a little better. Well, that is a painting that if you go to her Instagram, I think she's posted that. But that one's not going to be in the show. So we didn't show that one very, we didn't focus in on that one as good as we could have because, you know, I'm not selling it. So anyways, so these ones are the more experimental ones where I tried to incorporate a little bit of the painting medium into it. So it kind of has more of a like a water or oil painting kind of vibe. I wanted it to kind of run. So this one is kind of like the in between. And then I did where I did too much. And then that one doesn't look that great. I mean, there's the redeeming things. Like I kind of like this patterning in the back. I don't know if you can see how the cells of the oil have broken down and it creates that almost, I don't know what to call that, but it's kind of a cool effect. It's just it spread too much. So I kind of like this. Um, this has potential, but I need to experiment a little bit more to get the quality that I want, you know? Lena says experiments are fun, but I also think it helps people respect the work more and understand the price of things. Yeah, so another experiment that I've been doing is working on much thinner metal so that things aren't so super duper heavy, y'all. Um, when I started taking classes, enameling classes, a lot of the enameling classes, they're like, oh, I only work on 18 gauge, 20 gauge, 16 gauge. And after you add layers and layers of enamel, sometimes that business is super thick and heavy. And I was like, you cannot make earrings using this big, ginormous, heavy stuff. So I've been working on thinner metal also and doing thinner layers. And that way it keeps the weight down. It's still strong, but it's not super duper heavy. So that's one thing that I've also experimented with. So these were my kind of experiments. I really kind of like how that blue shows through on this one. It gives it kind of a very spooky, almost like it's glowing kind of ectoplasmic style. Marion says, love the haunted house. Thanks. Michelle says, I just got a phone call and missed a bunch. Oh no. Well, you haven't really gotten too much into things, so I mean, so this was the experiments that I've been working on. Now let me find that magic penny. I don't know where he keep put my penny. That way y'all can see and know. All right. So let me put this in here too, just so that it's not super. I think that'll make it a little bit nicer. Oop. I mean, so love the one on the right. Thanks. All right. So let me. Boy, I kept messing around with the stand, and there you go. All right. So if you didn't see, these are not in any particular order. But this is one of the ones that I made at Aeromont. I'm just going to show these again. If you are interested in any of these ones, you can email us at info@allegorygallery.com. That is how to claim these, and it's also how to claim the kits that I'm going to show you. Now, I did not make a ton of kits, so because back in the day, I made like a gajillion kits, and then we still have them. And now I have to like break them down and cannibalize them. So I'm not making a super ton of kits. So the most I'll probably make is like 12. Right. So this is AE one, and it's $34. This is copper and enamel. And so this was also a kind of a test also because I did a cold process on top to seal that, and I didn't know how that would work because I know kind of how it will work, but I didn't know if the metallics would stay vibrant, and it actually made the metallics even more vibrant. So I'm pretty pleased with the way that turned out. So this is AE1 and it's $34. And if you're interested in that, you can claim it by sending us an email at info@allegorygallery.com. All right. So here's another one. This is the Jackalope. This one's AE2 and is also $34. That's kind of the introductory price. And I like how it retained some of the quality of the graphite. And that is so what I was kind of learning through my experiments is that the graphite bonds whatever is touching the glass that will bond and fuse into the surface of the glass. However, if you build up a lot of layers on top of that, those won't. So I definitely had to seal these. I wanted to kind of not have to seal them, but I think to make them the most durable and long lasting, then sealing is the best solution. So these ones are, this one is AE2 and is $34. And some of y'all have already seen these, but I thought I would show them again because I'm proud of them. I think I did a good job. And they look a little bit different. They're just a smidgen different. I think actually the golds look better with the coating because I think the gold was kind of reading a little dull before. All right, so this is AE5 and is $34. Now there is only one of each of these available. But see, like this one, you can see there's more gold throughout the drawing, and it looks more like a fox. Whereas before, without the coating, that gold didn't flash the same way. So I like it. I'm gonna do more of these. I'm going to test out different background colors because I'm interested to see what happens. This is AE8 and is $34. But I like it. So one of the tests that I'm going to do is like the different golds. So I've been experimenting with different kinds of gold in my work. Um, Mostly because gold is something that's precious to me and has always been kind of precious. And it's kind of funny. Um, like when I was little, my mom, she used to have these gold platform shoes, and I was obsessed with them. And my mom and dad, before I was born, he was an officer in the Navy. And so they used to go to these parties. And so my mom, she was a first generation immigrant from the Philippines. And it was in a time that was very racially divided. So she, she was not always welcome in every sphere. But when she put on these shoes, it was like she had this like transformation would happen. She was like she became Wonder Woman, and I remember I used to watch Wonder Woman and kind of imagine my mom. And it turns out there is a Filipino version of Wonder Woman. I didn't know that until yesterday. But anyway, so she would wear these shoes to these parties, and she would like her personality would change, and she was like super bubbly and very personable, and everybody just loved her. And between that and her food that she would make at these parties, it would break down the kind of those barriers, those societal barriers. And I just read a book called "It Tastes Like the Taste of War." Tastes like war. I think it's called "Tastes Like War," and it's another story of of her mom. She's from uh, uh, I can't remember if she's from North Korea or South Korea, but she also had kind of similar experiences with a lot of stuff. And she talked about how she would use these entertainment opportunities to like break down barriers and like secure favors and different things like that. And so anyways, my mom used to wear these shoes, and they were like magic shoes. And when my brother left, things kind of changed a lot in our household. So it changed very um dramatically. So we didn't know if he was alive or dead. And there was always kind of this walking on eggshells kind of vibe in our household. So the only time that I could get like my mom there, because it's a very traumatic experience when something like that happens to you. So, to kind of lift my mom's spirits, I used to have her put on the shoes and she'd like walk to check the mail or we'd go grocery shopping. But she had these gold platform shoes. And even if it was just for a little while, things would be better. Um, and so I, of course, wanted the gold shoes, but boys weren't allowed to have gold platforms. So I was forbidden from wearing the gold platform shoes, even though I wanted them with all my little dirty, grubby heart. And so, anyways, when I got to adult time, I was like, well, I'm gonna do it if I want. I'll wear whatever kind of shoes. So now my shoes are gold. Um, and so some people were like, why gold team? Why gold team? And so gold has a very significant kind of meaning for me. It's something that to me it means happiness. And so I don't know. And plus, I like it. It's a pretty color. So, anyways, with enameling, there's a lot of different products available that create different qualities of gold. So, some are more matte, some are more shiny, some are more metallic, and some are more kind of less metallic, but still more of a kind of a luster. Some I did get, I was super lucky and I sold some of my pieces over the summer and I got a little bit of gold, like real gold from the Yukon, from that show, that Yukon Gold Show, Rush show. I don't know, I don't watch it, but I got a little bit of it. So hopefully this winter sometime I'll have a chance to experiment and work with gold. Oh, and plus I found a gold coin the other day on my birthday. I was having the worst birthday ever. And then I found a gold coin and it was a real gold coin. And I was like, what? And it was in this like box of random like the cheapest beads, and I just happened to find it, and then I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, I will be so happy if I find another one. And then I found another one. And so, I mean, it wasn't like I found it on the street kind of thing, but it was definitely something like I did not know that I owned a genuine real gold coin in my collection, but I had it. So that was pretty kind of exciting. That made up for a lot of yuck. Donna says, I love your backstories. Um, so this is AE10, and this is the honeybee. Michelle says, that's some lucky beads. And Marion says, to remind you to have you have reasons to be happy. Yeah, it's one of those things. Sometimes you can take it for granted, but I feel like I'm very fortunate and very lucky to be able to do what I do. I not everybody has a chance to do this, live a life like we do. I mean, there are some things that I would um, like basic things that I would like, that would make life a lot easier and better, like the quality of life better. Um, and one of those things is health insurance. So oftentimes, when we got married, I thought we were going to go on, I was going to go on William's health insurance plan. However, his insurance changed. So, after we got married, so that didn't happen. So, anyways, there's things like that I would like. But for the most part, I feel really lucky to be able to do what I do. Not everybody is able to do it. So I feel very fortunate. And if all I do in my life is add beauty to the world, then, that's a life well lived. All right. So that's AE10, $34. Not to bring it down. I tried hard not to do generational trauma with y'all, but it's just too easy, I guess. All right, so this is AE12. This is 44, and this is a different process. This is a Mason stain process. So the Mason stains are basically the colorants that they do to color concrete, basically. I think that's what that's designed for. So when I did this, it's super matte and kind of chalky. You have to put a top coat, and I did a top coat, and they recommend doing a top. Barbara recommended doing a top coat that was like a sugar fire. It turns out I'm not a big fan of sugar fire. I have to play around with it because I'm sure when it's done, like if it's done right, it's it will look different. But I was like, I don't know if I like it. It made it kind of like gritty feeling. And so you can still see that a little bit. You can still see a little bit because I made this specifically a thinner top coat, and that is so that the cold process coating is a little bit thinner, so you still get a little bit of that texture. But I like it better now that's got that, but it looks like an accident. Like it looks like it's like bubbled. So I've got to experiment with this a little bit more. I might hit it with some sandpaper, some real fine sandpaper, and make it kind of the in between. You know what I mean? But it's in a step in the right directions. Michelle says, I'm really lucky on the health insurance. I have multiple plans and will be getting more soon through Jim's work. Oh, that's great. Michelle says, my meds alone cost over $100,000 a year, and we don't pay any of that. Well, that's awesome. I always like to hear when people have good experiences with their health. So here is AE13, $44, and that's another one. I don't hate it. All right, it's growing on me. But at first I was like, I don't like this texture. But now I kind of like it. So we'll see. But it's interesting. It doesn't make it super smooth. And so I guess that's where it's kind of like the hang up is there. But it's growing on me. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably just leave it and test out some more different finishes. So this one is AE13, $44. Man says it's shocking. The US doesn't have universal health care. Yeah, you're telling me, y'all. All right, so this is AE20, and this one's also $44. And the reason why these ones are more, somebody was like, how come that one's more? It's because it's way more work. So you build up the layers, and then you fire in between the layers, and it's just a little bit more of a tricky process. It's a little bit more of a tricky process. So it just takes longer. So like the other pendants are pretty quick. These ones are much slower. They are faster than the China paints. That business takes me forever, and I need to experiment so hard on that because some of the ones I did, all the colors flash brown that were supposed to be purple, and I was like, oh, because it's supposed to be like this vibrant, almost electric blue kind of purple, and they all flash brown, and I was like, ugh, rejected. No. So here's another one. AE 14, another one, $14. There are some good qualities to it. And I do like this kind of painterly effect that I can get with it. I just need to experiment more, you know. But yeah. That's one of the things that's great about those classes. I was in it to win it. This is AE19, $44. This is a little root baby. I love the root baby. I'm gonna make a bunch of root babies because I love them. When we were kids, so I should preface this by saying that we grew up quick in a lot of ways. Like nowadays, I tell some of my stories in public places, and depending on the who's listening, um, it's kind of shocking how people react. Um, but like I was telling somebody that we used to watch like soap operas when we were growing up. Like when I before I was in school, I used my mom, she would watch soap operas. And so I would watch soap operas with my mom. And I was probably like, I don't know, before school age. And like I would come home from school and watch Guiding Light with her, and we're gonna hear all about Riva in her trouble times. Um, and so, anyway, so like that's I knew a lot about where like babies came from because we watched, we got that bubble was popped pretty early. And then like my mom, she also used to like for our toys, she used to make a lot of our toys. And so she would make them anatomically correct. And I remember when I would take some of this to school, for one, I had to have a parent teacher conference um, about that. So just so you know, that kind of thing happens when you bring an anatomically correct doll to the class. But anyway, so I had these dolls, and all the other kids were like so fascinated by them because they were like, "My dolls don't have that," and so it made for some interesting conversations. I'm sure my teacher, every time that she saw me coming, she's like, "Oh boy, here we go again. What's it going to be today?" Um, but anyways, um, anyways, the reason why I brought that up is because when we would go on nature walks with my grandma, around the farm, we would, we didn't bait her necessarily, but we would sometimes ask like provocative questions, which we knew the answers to. But it was so funny to see her kind of squirm in her discomfort because for some things she was like, pretty in your face about stuff. Like for as far as like cursing goes, my grandma, she was a sassy Southern lady, and she wouldn't say like some words, but she would say a lot of stuff that would would be very impropriety, improper in some circles. But anyways, but some things they were very conservative about. And so like sex, they were very like you never talked about it or whatever. Even though people were having babies like crazy, nobody ever talked about anything like that. It was like the taboo subject. And so we'd go on these nature walks and we'd be like, where do babies come from? And she would be like, "Oh." Um, anyways, but she at one point she told us that babies came from burrows in trees, like a knot in a tree. She's like, "That's where the baby come from." And we're like, "Uh-huh." And be like, "With the magic cabbage and the stork? Did the stork put the cabbage baby in the tree? Did it use its beak, grandma?" And she would be like, stop this line of questioning. Like there was these train tracks, and she's like, "Don't go down there, hun." And I'd be like, "Why?" And she's like, "They get up to bad stuff there." And I'd be like, "What do they do?" And she's like, "Bad stuff." And I was like, "Murder?" And she's like, "No." I was like, stealing. And I basically 20 questions, but we knew what they were doing. Them kids were getting up to no good. Um, and so, anyways, so there you go, root babies. And then when I got older, a little bit older, I started reading a lot of fantasy and things like that and started researching mythology. And so there's plenty of different things that they would use, like a mandrake is just one root that resembles a human. And so that they use that for all kinds of stuff. So, um, yeah. So I love root babies. Who doesn't love a root baby? I see a couple folks. Donna says that reminds me of the Baba Yaga house. Yes, I love a Baba Yaga house. I'm probably going to make a Baba Yaga house. And Donna says, I love that root baby. I'll leave it on the thing. Here, how about that? Instead of me just like talking. Marion says, yeah, I get what you um don't throw a fit as one if Tim Holtz sayings, but oh, you get what you sow, don't throw a fit is one of them. Tim Holtz sayings, but to be fair, he mostly experiments on paper. And then Julie says, is that a root baby? Yeah. And this is, oh yes, Luke and Laura on General Hospital. Let's talk about messed up relationships. There you go, Luke and Laura. I was confused about that business. I was like, didn't he like attack her in the park, or am I confused? And then they gonna have the trauma bonding. Anyways, that's 80 soap operas for y'all. Um, and she said, unless one life to live has had Satan. Yeah, they has. Is that the one? What's her name? The blonde lady. She get possessed. They all the time after that Stefano and his like secret lair. I was like, what am I watching? I was like, I thought I was like, they don't have this like possession business up on Bold and the Beautiful. Young and the Restless, they don't get like have to get exercised or whatever. I watched one. They had this prom that I don't know if it was came out. It's called Passions or something, and they had that prom for like a month. I was like, boy, those outfits probably stank. And it was like this weird Carrie ripoff, and they had like um a little person that had like a doll that came to life, and there I was just I um yeah, that was a kind of different show. Marion says, get what you get. Michelle says that root baby is cute. Thanks. Donna says, oh please do. Yes. Marion says Luke and Laura are probably the worst, correct? Michelle says, watch Dallas as a kid. Yeah, we watched Dallas. Who Shot JR? I tried to bring up that reference once, and this kid who, at one of the retreats, I realized they had no clue what I was talking about. Their eyes glazed over like a pot. They just looked at me, and I was like talking and stuff. And for some reason, I thought they were like the same age as me, but then I realized they were like 25 years younger than me. And yeah. So, anyways, man, so those shows were the ultimate in dramatic storyline. I don't know. I sent some the Telenuova or whatever, and those ones beat the pants off some of those storylines. This somebody's secret brother is gonna come out and they're gonna have the love affair like Zora. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it's on. Donna says, I remember when Luke and Laura got married, Passions actually had a witch. Um, Marion says, Days of Our Lives, and Marlena was possessed. And Donna says, Marion, yes. And says, so much adult content we watched as kids. I wonder if that's why I love fantasy now. Yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting to think about how that stuff happens. Um, Marianne says, and very fast growing kids. Yeah, that's the other thing. You blink and them kids is already in high school. And you're like, huh? The kids is just they're just over there like walking around as like a toddler. And then they're all of a sudden grown. But anyway, so that probably explains a lot. That we watched I don't know. I used to read Anne Rice as like a 10-year-old and used to read Stephen King around that age too. And so there's all this talk about like book banning and stuff. And I'm like, what I probably am not a good example of what actually I take that back. I'm probably the opposite of what some people who want to ban books want their future to look like. So I can see their point if that's an actual correlation. Never mind. Backtrack. Marianne says my favorite was actually Dark Shadows. I like that one too. I don't think I knew what was going on, but I liked it. Um, and then this is AE 1544. Michelle says, "Yep, Stephen King as a kid." Well, this says I turned out fine though. Yeah, I was like, oh, I probably am not the best case of normal, according to some folks. So I was like, well, maybe they do have a point. Anyways, so here you go, AE16. Y'all seen these already, but I did want to show them with the top coat on. I do like this, where I got it like in between. It's almost like a candy crunch on top. Lennis claimed AE16 through email, but haven't heard back. So he's probably busy. Yeah, he's busy. This is AE18 and it's 44. I like this one. I have to say, I do like this one. Marion says, I read Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke when I was about 10. One of the ones that I read that I probably should not have read, but my mom made me read it, was Flowers in the Attic. And I don't know if you know about that business, but it's about incest. And so I was like, what, huh? Why you want me to read this? And she's like, just in case. I was like, just in case what? I was like, I'm confused. Danette says, hi, Andrew, hashtag AGB fam. I missed a lot, have to rewatch, was helping husband with exercises for his knee. You didn't miss that much, but well, we've been on for like an hour. Donna says, oh, I read Flowers in the Attic when I was like 12 years old. Yeah, I know, right? I was like, what? Ooh, I like this better now that it's got the top coat. At first, I was like, I don't know about this, but I do like it better like this. So never mind. So this is a combination of techniques I was playing around with. And I think I'm going to keep playing around with this because I think I could get some really cool things. I just wasn't really in the headspace to do that day. But there's some interesting possibilities. And then the next ones are all claimed, so I'm not going to show those. So let's do those kits because it's already almost an hour. And I was like, this is going to be fast. And then I'm like, let's talk about generational trauma and the books we read as children. All right. So this is GT1 and is $12. They say they see a bird. Oh, don't like this? Like that's the bird? I guess I could see that. And that's the beak. I could see that. Oh. Michelle says, I think our parents were just happy that we were reading books. I don't think they cared what we were reading. Yeah, my parents did not care. I mean, I remember being like 6 and they were giving me my key. I still have that keychain, by the way, which I found the other day. And they're like, here you go. This is so you can come and go. And so I was like, you mean I have to walk by myself? And then they're like, yeah. They're like, yeah, it's only about a mile each way. And so, yeah, after school, I walked home and made myself food. And I don't know. Doesn't, because I told somebody that recently and they're like, so where were your parents? I was like, working or doing something else. Anyways. So this is GT1. Have you ever found, like, gone to a bead show and then been like, oh, I don't know what this is, and it's not real expensive, but I like it. So this is this composite stone, and I think this is such a cool stone. It is like the weirdest thing. Like there's little bits of dyed stone that are all composite together, and then like this one, it's got a little bit chunks out of some of them, but that's all right. But this was like, I remember getting that strand and being like, whoa, it blew my mind. So there's this composite stone. I have never seen it ever since that show. So I got a couple different strands of that. Now I'm sharing with y'all. So you've got these coins and that composite stone. You've got some rondelles. The rondelles don't have any of that kind of pinkish red color. They're just the purple and white. And this is a base metal setting with the S-word crystal in it. And you get 2 of those. And here's another one of those little rondelles. And you get a strand of vintage check glass. These might be the antique ones. I think these are like called tin cut. Maybe they're tin cut. You also get this strand of, they call them roller beads, but they are basically glass pony beads. And then you also get these 2 check glass beads with those little iridescent dots. Little polka dot pattern. I love a good polka dot, y'all. I don't know if you all knew that. And then you get this lampwork glass and this kind of like, it's not real expensive lampwork glass, but I thought they were fun. And I think that they picked up some of the colors in that composite stone. There's a little bit of that like chartreuse color, which kind of breaks it up. So it's not all just like purple. There's a little hint, a little kiss of something. So this is GT1. It's $12 for all of this, excluding the penny, plus shipping. If you have not claimed from us before, please email us at info@allegorygallery.com. And we only have 4 of these kits. So if you're interested in that, email us right away because it comes on a first come, first serve basis. If you've never claimed from us before, please also include your shipping address and your preferred email address for billing if it is different from the email that you sent from. And the reason why is because sometimes like for us, for example, William has our business account, and so he has all of our PayPal for the business is in his name. So I use that one, but 99% of the time I email people from my personal account. So it is different. So if you have that situation where your email is going to go to an invoice that's different, be sure to include that email that you want us to bill with. All right. Does that make sense? So you'll have to include, also, if you want more than one, let us know. Otherwise, we just assume you want one. All right. Donna says, we did walk. Let me see. Here we go. Night. Sometimes we would go to school during the day. Yeah, my brother and I had a lot of freedom. And Donna says, we did walk to grammar school every day when I was growing up, about a 2-mile walk one way. Plus, there was a library and nice park close by the school. Danette says, those polka dot beads are cute. I think so. Those would make so cute earrings. William says, team in store just closing up. Well, what are you going to make me for dinner, team in store? My stomach is like, wow. You know, that's a thing. I was eating 3 times a day over at Aeromont. Now, when I getting back to our snake habits where we eat once a day, I'm not ready for it, y'all. Repeat dinner. Oh, good. We had veggie burgers last night. Those were pretty good. I might pick up some chips though on the way. All right, so this is going to be GT2, $18. I only have 6 of these available. This one is a little blingy, y'all. I don't know if y'all like the bling, but I like it. So you get this 2-color crystal faceted rounds. Let me pick this up and show it in your eyeball hole. Whoa. Is that blingy or is that blingy? It's out of control. It's like a disco ball in my hand, but not. All right. So there's GT2, and then I've got these. They call the Stardust beads, and it's a metal bead where they, I'm guessing they add like a coating, like that speckle, and then they plate them. So they're hollow beads. They're super lightweight, and they're metal. They are made of metal, and they are coated so that they won't turn colors. And then you have these foil beads, and I believe that these are from Venice, Venetian. I'm 90% sure that these are Venetian. And so they call these foil beads because they take that metal leaf and they lay them down, and then they roll it, the metal, and it sticks in the metal, and then they put that clear glass on top. And then this one has like metallic streaks through it. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And then to break up that kind of gold and bring it down into this gray color family, I put some labradorite. And this labradorite has a little bit more of it's just kind of not like a gray. No, it's a little bit more of a yellow gray. And so I thought that was real pretty together because it picks up that flash, goes into the other ones, and then you get these little briolets, faceted briolets. The faceted briolets go from side to side at the top, the tippy top there. And they're very flashy labradorites. And the flash is like a gold green flash for most of these. There's a little bit of blue flash in these. Like this one has a little bit of a blue flash. But some of them not as flashy. Like this one's not as flashy. Here, let me turn this. Sometimes if you turn it, it comes out. This is all right. These ones more flashy though. And these are corner drilled rounded squares. All right. So you get this double stuffed strand of here of that Chinese crystal. You've got those metal beads that are gold plated. You've got those Venetian lamprey glass beads, foil beads. You've got some labradorite and some more labradorite. So that's $18 for all of that, and that is GT2. I only have 6 of these available. All right. So if you want that, email us at info@allegorygallery.com and we'll get you hooked up. Maybe if you're the first 6 or you're the first one who claims 6, that combination station. So it's GT2, y'all. Cheryl says, "Oh, pickles, I'm late." We just talking. I showed some experiments earlier, and I showed the pendants again, the ones that are available. All right. I'm not as fast as William. William, he's like, "Oh, I'm ready. Moving on," and he's like, "Ready, set, go." Me, I'm like, "Let me lingeringly. I don't know if that's a word. Lingeringly. Look at each and every one of them. All right, so this is GT3, y'all. For gold team. I want to be the winner. Will you help me be a winner today? All right, GT3, $12. I only have 4 of these, y'all. This probably should have been more than 12. All right, so first up is this strand of antique gloss beads. These are from the Czech Republic. These are kind of like an amber color, but they have like a silvery kind of finish to them. And these are old beads. Danette says, "You are a winner." No, I want to be a real winner, not just like in my heart. And then there's these Lamper glass beads. These are probably Chinese. They're not, I like them, but they're not like the fanciest. And sometimes, I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm going to say it because I like to be transparent with y'all. Like, I feel like if they spent an extra minute, they'd be like fantastic. But, anyways, so then you get 3 pieces of this pineapple quartz, and this is a synthetic that doesn't look like a synthetic, and it's slightly opalescent glass. It's got a light, kind of buttery yellow tone to it. And you can kind of see it's really trippy. I love this. And you get 3 of these pieces. Marion says, "The best I can do is share and tell people who want to win." Oh, good. Yeah. And here you go. So this is that. And then these little Czech glass bee beads with a metallic blue. I thought that was really cute. And I have a little not hive. What do you call a swarm? There's not that many for a swarm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get 6 of those Czech glass ones. My friend Linka, she designed those ones and had them produced in the Czech Republic. And then they have this pineapple quartz, these Lamper glass beads, and then these antique check glass beads. And that's like a big strand. That's not a little strand. And that's GT3 and is only $12. And I have 4 of these kits available. So if you want those, you got to grab them because there's only 4 of them. All right. So if you think I'm going slow, I am. But also, the nice thing about that is I don't have that many kits tonight. I'm be getting working. While I'm packing this up, I do want to say that we do have more of the treasure hunt boxes. It's going to specialize in vintage glass, mostly vintage glass. And I've been packing. And I found some really good things for y'all. So I hope y'all like them. All right, this is GT4 is $10 only. I have 6 of these available. GT4, $10. And you get some check glass, these matte finish, cobalty blue daggers. They're like a super beautiful. I love that kind of frosted. They almost look like they're glowing. You also get these kind of cornflower blue, iced tea, transparent blue check glass, pressed glass leaf beads. And then you get this dyed stone. They say it's dyed fossil, but I can't tell if it's really fossil or not. But these dyed stone beads, get 2 for 6 of those in like a leaf shape. And the holes go from lengthwise. And then you get 2 of these gold-plated fine pewter beads from us at Allegory. So AG fine pewter, the holes go from top to bottom, long ways like that. So this is a little leafy surprise. Do y'all like that flavor? 2 nice strands of check glass, some dyed stone, and then 2 fine pewter, gold-plated fine pewter beads by me. Only $10, GT4. If you are interested, email us at info@allegorygallery.com. I got 6 of those available. Donna said, love that flavor. Oh, good. I'm glad when people like stuff. Teresa said, did anyone say they received your gift set in the boxes you just sent out? I don't think anybody said yet. Sometimes it takes a minute. You know what I realize is some people don't open the boxes right away. I don't. So maybe that's what's that. I think there's still some waiting to go out too. So they may be in the boxes waiting to go out too. But I have not seen anybody say that if they did get it. All right. So this one is the last kit that I have for tonight. It's GT5 and it's $16. And I have 5 of those. And here we go. So you get some, they call this bicolor. And it's where they have 2 colors in the check glass, these faceted rondelles. And then I have this check glass druck and a matte. And then I have these pressed 2-color check glass leaf beads. And then I have 2 vintage Chinese ceramic beads with a gold luster. You know what? I've been researching luster like it's my job, y'all. And it kind of is my job. But I've been researching and comparing and contrasting. And I've been hunting down the best supplier and also the best price. Because sometimes people, I think they get wild and then they just like start and add zeros on things. And like one I found and it was like so pretty, but the price was like astronomical. And I was like, huh? And then one version of the gold luster that I found, it's like basically 2 drops that they're gonna sell you. And I was like, I think I need more than that. And then I have these really cool matte finished lampwork beads. This one's more green. This one's more teal and white. This one's more teal and white. And then you get one of this S word crystal. It's a big one. Look how pretty that is. I'm trying not to get fingerprints on it, but you know, that's called life. That's shiny. Some people are like, oh, I hate S word. I hate S word. And I'm like, I still like it. I don't care. I'm allowed to like it. And then I have this base metal component with S word crystals. So this is lot GT5, $16. Vintage Chinese ceramic, lampwork of unknown origin, S word crystal, base metal component. There's multiple holes. So there's 2 holes on this end and they run through. So this would be great for like a bracelet and it won't flip. Or you could, there's holes in this so you could hang stuff, or you can use as a pendant, or you can put it in as like a asymmetrical necklace component. There's a lot that you can do. And then check glass, and check glass. What do y'all love? I love the S word crystals. Me too. Marianne says, I have been known to wait some time. Yeah, you know, I get a lot of packages, so sometimes I don't always get to open stuff right away, which I need to get out of the habit of that because one of my friends sent me, they baked me some cookies and they were like, they took all this extra time and they made some of my favorite cookies. And then I got them, and then I opened the package, and then the package was a little bit moldy time. So that was a little bit embarrassing. And then I felt so bad. So if anybody does get the pendant, let us know because I worked hard on that, and I hope people like it. I don't even think I have a picture of it. So yeah, let me know. All right, so that's the last one for tonight. I'm gonna run over to the house and get some food, and then go to the bathroom, and then come back and keep working. So I'm gonna do some more check-ins throughout the evening. If you miss them, it's not the end of the world. You can always watch the replay. And I plan to be on more this weekend. Normally, we take the weekend off, but I'm going to be on every day this weekend. So, Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be live at least once, but probably more because I'm going to check in. I really want to win my friendly competition with my husband and I want to be the winner. So I'm gonna work real hard. Post things. I'm also gonna put some albums up on our Facebook page. So if you mostly watch on YouTube, just keep an eye on Facebook this weekend because I'm gonna do a lot of stuff. It's just easier for me to do stuff on Facebook. Sometimes with like normally we would put it like on the online store. However, I'm not like super well versed at the online store, so I'm just going to do it on Facebook. And with these ones, if you are interested in any of the kits you saw tonight or any of the pendants that I showed, just email us at info@allegorygallery.com. I'm going to have William try to compile the spreadsheet sometime every night so that we kind of know if I'm behind or he's ahead. So we'll see. All right. So I'm a peace out. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you have a good night. I'm going to be back again sometime tonight. I don't know when. I don't know what we're going to do. I might show you some stuff, get you a little pre-tell. And then, yeah. Oh, I'm listening to um, the uh, the Inspired by Reading book club book for this month. The Graveyard book I got from the library. I'm listening to it. I'm trying to frantically cram it in before the end time, before it expires, because then there's a wait on this. If I don't, so yeah, I'm about a quarter of the way through. It's pretty good so far. He does a reading for it, and sometimes he's a little bit slow time in the reading, and so I find like I get a little bit tired, or I'm already tired, so it does not help that situation. But for the most part, it's pretty good. So, anyways, I'll check back later this evening with y'all. If y'all are sleeping, sleep good. I'll talk to you later. See ya.